Okay, glance at the French ingredients for the ROI alchemy to take place. Of course, there's only a glance because we have 10 minutes. We've seen many initiatives, very interesting, all of them. I'll try to make it within the 10 minutes. First, the French hubs. We are all Science Center. Well, Science Center, you've seen it from the previous presentations already, are hubs between civil societies, different stakeholders, researchers, policymakers. We do work with all these people on a daily basis almost. But I don't want to talk really about the hubs now. I really do want to show you 3 practices. It's quite a challenge. And I'm going to start now. Oops, this way. I have 3 examples of promising practice: a structure, a program, and an approach of doing things. So Science is a small startup that was settled 2 years ago, so it's pretty young, by 2 researchers or doctors. And they're aiming at creating partnership with laboratories, engineering schools, social entrepreneurs, and companies to launch responsible projects. I mean, they are aiming at doing responsible research and innovation, and it's quite rare actually to have that label from the start in a company. The example I'm going to show you is the toy for autistic children. Then there's the Île-de-France PICRI program. PICRI stands for, it's a program that's aiming at funding research. Project built upon partnerships between scientists and citizens or NGOs, with an example as well. And then living labs, I'm not going to describe what living labs are. We've been seeing some sort of examples of what it could be. It's just about engaging everyone in technical and science innovation from the very beginning, even from the idea sometimes. And I'll try to show you really fast for 3 examples. They're also displayed in the atrium as well, so you'll be able to have some time to see them more. So Science, that's how they define themselves. They have expertise, they offer support, and they're a factor of change. They're the first company in France which is specialized in responsible innovation. Oh, you have to pretend you can read in the black line. They're helping private and public sector to develop and achieve RI project, responsible innovation, but with research in it as well. And they're creating new research partnership between social entrepreneurs and researchers, which is not very used yet in France at the moment sometimes, because they come from 2 different backgrounds, different languages, and you need somebody in between to help them talk to each other, understand each other's issues and time. So this is Moki. It's an example of one of the projects driven by SoScience. It is smart toy for autistic children because autistic children have trouble processing faces, which means they have trouble understanding emotions from other people and sharing emotions as well, their own. And there is no medication for autism today. So that's the design that was made by researchers, doctors, children, developed by Leica, which is in the black line. Which is together with SoScience. So that's what it looks like. It enables kids to communicate through that sphere. All data is open source and available for doctors, researchers, and parents to be used for further research. So that was an example of one of the projects SoScience driving. So another initiative, no, not get out. The partnership between institution and citizen for research and innovation, launched by the Île-de-France region. It aims at involving NGOs in research processes, contributing to diversification of research topics, some topics that are not always in the labs because they're not in the usual policy, and research can be developed thanks to this tool. Expand dialogue between the research world and civil society. PICRI was launched in 2005, so it's a 10-year program now. The projects are funded and organized by the region, but they are selected by an independent committee, right? And it's about 115 projects that have been launched since the beginning of the program. They are 3-year projects on different societal topics, and and 10 years after, it's about 115 projects funded, 1.13 million euros spent on the different projects, and a PhD student working to evaluate the program itself. So it has quite a few ingredients, RI ingredients within it all. And it's been already spreading, so it is replicable. It has been spreading in 4 regions in France, and we have a representative here of the PICRI program who will be able to answer all your questions if you have any. This is really fast an example of one of these projects. It's an online tool to make the Parliament activity visible and understandable to all. I don't know how it is in other countries, but in France, I just don't understand, and I did start understanding. The aim of the study first was to study the Parliament's amendment activities to quantify and qualify the institution role in lawmaking, science, research. It's a team of 3 different types of partners, technical, NGO, and research. On that aim, but the aim this project gave birth to a website. If you speak French, don't go there unless you have a couple of hours to spend. Shows you can follow the discussion depending on the different policy parts. You can choose different topic of laws, find the chronology, and you do have the fully recorded debates. If you start reading that, you realize policymakers are just normal people, and they talk like normal people as well in this debate. So that's an example of tool, and we're talking about being open and making things accessible as well, and that is an example of how it can be done. Third example is Living Lab in science centers. I'm going to talk about 6 science centers in France that got engaged together to reevaluate their role towards science and society within the InMedia project, using digital tools to do that, as tools, but also as a way of doing things, the philosophy that goes together with some of those tools. Because Science Center's role is to create space of shared knowledge and consciousness, not only for the public, but for researchers, businesses, for society at large, because anybody can, ask themselves questions and question the world around themselves. And Living Lab in Science Center should be more also than evaluation of prototypes by end users, like it could be done sometimes in businesses. So Science Center, they can be hubs where researchers, innovators, artists, citizens can think, debate, and work together. Real work, not like fake work, pretending to work. Real work can be done in there when it comes to research and innovation. So the Living Labs are in position to interrogate the merit of any innovation or research yet to come. It's not only to make things, but to interrogate and think about what you're doing, so that researchers and innovators can then make the decision in a full awareness. But the decision's still theirs, probably. 3 real fast examples. You have the name, and you can look it up on the internet afterward if you're interested. Experimenta, it's an event that's transforming a collaboration between researcher, business, and artists into an event. It's years collaboration, sometimes including end users, sometimes not. And then for 3 days, all these ideas or prototypes are presented to a larger audience to be tested through workshop that can last for between 10 minutes to 3 hours.
1 minute left.
What? 1 minute left? Perfect. Thank you. No, that's about it. Nouvelle Page is a project of exploring collectively new interaction between comic books and digital technology. We're more on the technical side. Again, together as a project with end users within the project from the start. And the Poppy Robot is a collective project of all the 6 centers in the InMedia project, built together an open source robot and discussing its potential use. It's going to be going on for about a year, starting now, so with many events. And associating the building and making with the thinking and interrogating technology. So here they are. There's much more, but they're representative of the ingredients. We have RI dedicated partners for researchers and businesses to help them talk to each other also and work in the RI dimension. We do have founding programs and policymaker engagement. And we do have citizen involvement that can trigger a larger mentality change We do have all the ingredients. Oops. 1 second. I did have. We do have all the ingredients, yet RRI is not all over the place, because for a recipe to work, you don't only need ingredients, you will all need the proper amounts of everything, and that's maybe what's still missing, and that RRI tool will bring. And that's also from the workshop consultation, maybe stronger visibility for some different level of engaged policymakers, and facilitation for NGOs and individuals to engage in European project or larger project in general. Thank you very much for your attention.